On the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast, start your day off with a higher vibrational podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to SherryLord.com for more info. Happy that you can join us, and thank you for joining the Sherry Lord Talk Show where spirituality and authors meet. And we have a very special guest today, and you are going to love her. She is amazing. You definitely don't want to miss what she has to say on this show. And we want to say welcome to Brandaleen Johnson. Welcome, Brandaleen. We're so happy to have you.
I am so grateful to be here and share with your audience. Thank you so much.
You have a topic from normal corporate career to becoming a medium. Were you always aware of your gifts, or did you just kind of develop it and realize? Were you around people? Was your family, spiritual in that way, or did you have to learn as it unfolded on your path?
I was always interested in some sort of spirituality. I had no idea I had any abilities whatsoever.
Wow.
I would go to like UFO conventions with my mom, and there would be speakers there that would talk about how they would channel angels or other beings or remote view, and I was always fascinated with it. But my mom was also very old school, where it's like go to work until you retire, save for your 401k, be structured like that. And so she raised me to be that way. And so I worked in corporate for over 15 years in commercial real estate.
Wow.
But I just wasn't feeling it.
Oh, wow. Well, what shifted for you? Where was the pivotal point in your life from corporate to medium? What took place in your life that shifted that for you?
So what had happened is it just knew in my soul, in my heart, I couldn't leave this corporate job, and my health started to decline. And so I took a leave of absence from my career, and I ended up moving across the country because my leave of absence expired, and my doctor was still saying that you really shouldn't go back to that job. And so meanwhile, I moved from Las Vegas, Nevada to Traverse City, Michigan, just on a whim. Literally, I went there on vacation, and 6 weeks later we lived there. Sight unseen, rented a house that I never even saw. Well, when I moved there, I went into the woods, and now I know what happened, but I went through a portal, and I was inside the fairy realm or something along those lines. But at that time, I thought fairies were make-believe. I didn't know what I was experiencing. It's like all the air just disappeared. Like I could still breathe, but it wasn't like air was there, and I felt all these weird beings like looking at me, but I couldn't see them, but I could feel them. And so that's when I went on a quest to find out what I experienced. Now, mind you, I did become a Reiki master when my daughter was 3, so 25 years ago. And that day that I finally had my final attunement, I did have some strange experiences where I smelled pizza on my way back to the place I was staying, and when I got there, pizza was being delivered.
Wow.
So
now,
because I went from seemingly normal to a blown wide open after I mentored with another medium to figure out what the heck was going on. Now I'm so passionate because once I met my spirit guides, I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't making this up. That's when I knew in my heart I was not here to pay bills until I died.
Wow, that is really fascinating. There's so many people who are living their normal lives, and they have these experiences, and some of them don't know what to do with it, or they just observe it, and some people are getting a calling. They want to leave what they do to go do this work, and it is possible that they can do that. If they, have everything in place, they'll be able to do that. What do you say to people to help them trust what they get, and how can they enhance their psychic abilities?
So I'm glad that you asked that, because I have a signature course called AWAKEN, and after I went through the process, because this all happened to me in 2011, And as soon as I knew that spirit was this magic, and as soon as I knew that somehow all of a sudden I could see through time and space, inside people's bodies, behind closed doors,
Wow.
and be able to help myself and help people, I wanted so much for people to understand that you don't have to be born with it. You don't have to be special.
Okay.
And when you develop into this, you don't have to be somebody in a dark room giving readings. You can be. You don't have to be. You can create something beautiful. Because Spirit's calling you guys. I'm so passionate about these people that are having these random experiences that just kind of, oh, that was cool. But in reality, it's a sign that Spirit's calling you to step forward further into this. And to just think about, what if you really did develop into this? What would your life change into? So I love to mentor people. And after all these years, I guess I consider myself a spiritual awakening expert or psychic development expert, because it happens differently for every single person. Like some people might hear their name being called and nobody's there. They don't know why. Or some people might be standing behind somebody in the grocery store and all of a sudden imagine their dogs.
Wow.
And you're thinking, well, I wonder if they do have a dog. They probably do. You're seeing it, and you're clairvoyant. Or some people might close their eyes at night and see faces coming at them. That would be like more of a mediumship symptom. I call all of these symptoms because it's Spirit letting you know, hey, this is how I'm trying to communicate with you.
Well, I like how you explain that, because there's so many people that have these and they have no one to talk to about, and some people do, but they keep it to themselves until they find someone who is similar or have those experiences. It could be, a psychic person or someone or a friend who's had other experiences. They can share it with, feeling safe with it, and I like how you explain it, because it really lets normal people, I like that you use the word normal people who are living their everyday life, having these experiences, not realizing that these are their gifts. These are really their gifts to guide them in life, and to really, accept that, and to know not to be afraid, because some people are afraid of it. Because they don't understand it.
Yes. So one of my previous students just reached out, because I'm in launch for the AWAKEN program right now. And she reached out and said, if it wasn't for you, I would still be scared of myself. Because she was having some wild experiences, and she was really scared because she had little kids in the house. And once she worked with me and worked through the AWAKEN program, she got to learn what was happening, how to manage it, how to handle it, how to use it the way she wants to use it. So some people are scared. The other thing you mentioned is some people get together and they're like, ooh, I heard my name being called, but the other person may say, may also be clairaudient, which is what we're talking about, psychic hearing. But they may experience it in a completely different way. So when people get together that are, I guess I don't want to say newbies, but they're just like, ooh, this cool topic that I want to talk to my friend about.
Yeah.
They're not really going to be able to understand or grow it or learn how to access it.
Yes.
They may be left with more questions. Like, am I making this up because my friend that has this similar experience isn't receiving the way I'm receiving?
I think that's true, because everybody gets it their own way. It's the same thing, but differently. They just get it differently, and I like how you bring that up, so people can say, yeah, I do have it, and know they have it. And what can they do? Because some people, when you bring up, can see, like they might see somebody in the home and they're not physical. What tools what do you recommend for that? Because some people, they get afraid, like, oh my God, I saw someone, I saw a glimpse of somebody, or I saw a shadow. What tools do you recommend? How can they clear their home? What can they do? Because people, they're entitled to their home, and I think it's a gift to help them go to light. I really do feel it's a gift, and it helps them, but I see a lot, not all my clients, but quite a few, what do you recommend that they do? You're out there. We want to talk about what you're offering too, because you have a lot that people are needing your service for. you know, and you're amazing. I mean, you've been doing this for a very long time, and you're an expert at it, you know. And what can people do? What tools do you recommend if they see someone in their home to make them feel safe, or their child can't sleep, or they're afraid because there's a boogeyman in the door or in their closet and they see somebody, even though the parents don't see it? You know, I mean, this is real. This does happen. So what do you recommend?
So there's different tools, and like you were saying, different things happen differently for people. So that's why mentorship is so valuable, I guess you would say. But obviously we have the tools of sage. You can sage your house and leave your door open. The big thing here, people, is to know that your light is so bright. You are so powerful. If you're just experiencing something random, tell it to beat it, and tell it with a big, flip it off. Have big ego. This is when it's okay to have big ego and be the boss of your place. When it comes to children, if they're having like night terrors and stuff, because a lot of kids will do that. You could put like rose quartz chunks underneath their bed. That and call on like Mother Mary. She's got a candle gas. But the other thing is for the people that maybe even being developing. I call these boundaries. Is you could create boundaries. They're rules for spirit. And so you could say, you know, nobody that doesn't belong to my family is allowed to be in me, spirit-wise.
That's a good one. Yeah.
When I first started doing the mediumship and stuff, I was here, and I didn't like to hear because it creeped me out, because I'm like, this is really happening. So one of my boundaries was like, you're not allowed to talk to me auditorially, and you're never allowed to call my name, because my name is Brandaleen, and I would know immediately that there's a invisible person talking to me, which is fine now. Well, actually, I don't call my name. But now my clairaudience, so my clairaudience was the last thing to develop, because that was one of my rules for spirit. Or spirit, I would tell them, no one is allowed to come and try to communicate with me after 10 p.m. or if I've had 2 glasses of wine. So my mediumship light is off and closed. But for people that are seeing things, just don't be scared. If you're having some serious paranormal things, or you're getting scratched, or toys are going off all the time, you know, then you're going to want to have somebody come in, perhaps, and cleanse.
Yeah.
There's my website has a free library, and on there's a advanced protection technique that people can grab that YouTube video for free, and it's like a whole, like bringing light through and expanding it through your home and through yourself. So that's something else people can do.
Well, I think this is really good information, because this happens a lot to a lot of people, and they don't know how to deal with that, you know, and they have the power. I love how you said that. They have the power, and not to be afraid of their own power, you know, and they have choice and they have tools. You gave some wonderful tools for that. And a lot of people also have a hard time grounding, because some people are aware spiritually, or some people are just moving around life not feeling safe. So they have a hard time grounding. And that's a biggie too, you know, for a lot of people. They're like not all the way in body. Their soul's not all the way in body. They're like kind of out a little bit. They're not quite grounded. What do you recommend for people that, you know, some are aware and they're meditating, but they're not grounded, and some people are just moving through life are not grounded because they don't feel safe for some reason?
Well, one big thing that's come up for me recently, like, because our growth keeps growing and growing, is really learning about your nervous system.
Ooh.
Because a lot of us are in a flight or fight mode, right? And so then that's when we get ungrounded. When we're ungrounded, our breath becomes shallow, and our thoughts follow our breath. So if our breath gets shallow, our thought all of a sudden goes fast, anxiety, and then you start having these other experiences. When you're grounded, you're, like you said, you're docked in, right? Like you're plugged in your cell phone. And if you have this coherent energetic field that happens around you, then none of this, like, I call it like spiritual debris can come in at you. Like some of these people are going into like Walmart feeling happy and they're leaving just depressed and sad because they don't have that coherent field around them, and they're just letting debris come in.
Okay. That's a really good way of describing that, because a lot of people do shop and some people just don't feel right when they come out of there, you know? What can they do to ground? What do you recommend for people? What tools do you have for them to ground more? They'll get more clarity, things will be clearer for them, you know?
Yeah. So sea salt bath, taking a salt bath is fantastic. Meditation generally will pull you in. You know, imagine cutting the cords, imagine getting back into your body. Cutting cords so you're not attached to everything around you. And then my biggest thing is doing the tree thing. Imagining that your feet are roots. Imagine that roots are coming out even around your waist. And feeling the feeling and holding in your belly, clairsentience, right? Physical, psychic feeling. Feeling in your belly how nature feels to you. Where's the best place that you love, right? Where's your favorite tree or whatever? And imagine that feeling. And all these roots go to the core of Mother Earth, wrap the roots around the core of Earth. I like to imagine that if Earth went upside down, I would still be connected. I'm not moving. I'm still stuck in there. And then you breathe in that feeling all the way up, right? All the way up, out, round, and then back down to be recycled.
Oh, that's a beautiful visionary for people, because it helps with visionary sometimes, you know, and to experience that. And I think this is great advice. I mean, we just love having you on your show. You are so good. And you have so much with all our viewers who are watching that we'll get a lot out of what you have to show and share with us today. And the other thing is, people want to evolve. So let's just say they're awakening, and you're helping people with awakening and those who are awakened and evolved as well. But there's people who are awakening and they want to enhance their psychic abilities. What tools do you recommend for them? Is it meditation, or is there different forms of that? Like going through the day, can they do a muscle or use something that'll help them trust what they get, or to open up their psychic abilities?
Yeah. So I'm always going to push my Awaken program, right? But I will.
We're going to go there. We're going to talk about that next. I want to talk about that next.
But the way to do it is to use it, right?
Yeah.
Is to exercise it, and is to get validation from it, so that you trust it. Over and over, right? Yes, meditation is like the number one thing I would say, because it's meditation. When you have that practice, it activates a different part of your brain that you've never used before.
Yeah.
Play-based exercises. I just read a meme the other day that says, in order to create new brain pathways, you have to do something for so many repetitions, right? Maybe it's like 50 or 80 repetitions. But if you do it with play-based, it takes 5 to 10 repetitions for you to create a new pathway, a new way for you to learn something new. So doing things that, if you're talking about clairvoyance, I would say every single day, get up and think about, what color is my coworker going to wear today? Every single day. And play this game, and you will get good at it.
Wow.
And then get validation, because you might go to work and she's not wearing what you thought she was. And tell her, I thought you were going to wear a tan dress with white spots. And she may go, oh my God, I had it on this morning, but I spilled coffee on it. And so getting validation is so important, because that's what is going to help you gain that trust and be like, I'm not making stuff up, I'm not crazy. And do it with your kids, play with the family, get them involved.
That sounds like fun. I mean, that sounds like a lot of fun to do, and it will strengthen. If you use muscles and you like you said, just use it. That is so true. You will strengthen it. It will become normal and natural, and there'll be no doubt. You'll just know, I think that's great. Let's talk about your awakening program. Can you explain to us what that is, what it involves, what's the details of this? It's a passion of yours, and everyone who's watching, we want to know how to get a hold of you as well, but we want to know more about, you keep talking about the awakening program. Can you explain to us what it's called, and is it online? Is it in person? I mean, explain that to us, because it's fascinating.
Yes. So the AWAKEN program is called AWAKEN, and it is a 15-week online course where there's 15 modules.
Okay.
You get lifetime access to the assignments. You can do the assignments whenever you want. When they sign up for AWAKEN, they also get 3 months of support from me. We do bi-weekly calls. This is where you're going to be able to ask questions, because everybody has a different experience. This is where you're going to be able to say, well, I did this one exercise about what's behind the door, but I felt like I got it wrong, and then I can help them, because a lot of times my students they'll go to see what's behind the door and they end up in a different room, but they'll think that they're wrong. But then I get to share with them, no, you were in my kitchen and you described it perfectly. You just haven't honed in your target yet, right? But so in this program, you learn the foundation so that you can safely go into here. You meet your guides, and then we dive into clairvoyance, clairaudience, psychic hearing, clairsentience, psychic physical feeling. We talk about empathy, emotional psychic feeling. Then we dive into like understanding what angels are, and I have a module on animal communication, and then we also have mediumship, because once you develop the clairs, the seeing, hearing, feeling, knowing, your mediumship could be just on like that, because it's just another component. You don't have to do mediumship. Some people don't want to do that module. You don't have to. I'm not making anybody do any of it, but it's freaking amazing. Every single person that takes the program develops. I always say that twice, because every single person that takes the program develops, as long as they do the assignments. The part that I get excited about is you're going to basically be exercising your muscles, and I have volunteers in that online program, where when you submit your assignment, I work directly with that volunteer to make sure that you get clean and clear validation. Because when somebody will read one person and they'll say, I think she's got a gluten sensitivity, this random stuff will come to you. I see children around her, and I feel like she's a gardener or something. And then another person will comment and say, I feel like this person has lost her father. A completely different reading on this same person. But they're both 100% right. They're just seeing different components.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
When we get a bunch of people exercising together, then it paints a beautiful picture.
That's beautiful. How do you have a social media page of Facebook? I know you have a website. How can people get a hold of you?
So find me on the social Facebook. Come and get me on my personal profile. I was hacked about a year ago, and they stole my business page. It's still up there. But that's not me anymore. Somebody stole it. I started selling underwear.
Oh, jeez.
Well, anyway, funny story. Spirit was like, you don't need that page, I guess.
You're rebranding.
So I'm also on Instagram at I am Brandaleen. So Brandaleen Johnson on Facebook, and then I have a community on Facebook. It's called Your Spiritual Awakening Community. And we have almost 5,000 people in there, and it's a really great community to be in.
Can anybody join that, or do they have to pay to join it, or they can just sign up and join it?
They could join it. It's absolutely free. I have them play some games in there, and that's where I do a lot of free trainings. My YouTube channel is also Brandaleen Johnson. Anybody can get in and out on all my videos. That's where 80% of my clients find me, because they're Googling am I a medium, or my children are having night terrors, what do I do? And my videos will pop up.
Oh, that's awesome. That way people can know how to find you. They know how to, get a hold of you, because I'm going to highly recommend Brandaleen, because I tell you what, she's excellent at what she does, and she's good. So definitely, I mean, more than a 5-star here. She's really the real deal, and she comes from her heart, but she knows what she's talking about. She is an expert in her field. And I want people to know, really check her out, because she's from the heart, but she's got the wisdom and the knowledge with it. And she's got the passion. And number one is the passion, because you've got a passion of what you love, it's going to help others grow and evolve and help them get there too. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience? Anything you'd like to give them as a tip or anything for their path or their life, or anything you'd like to share?
I do. Spirit always says the same thing to people when they're questioning.
Yeah.
They say yes. Yeah. So if you have something in your heart, you're like thinking, am I going to be successful at this? Should I try this? Yes. That feeling in your stomach is the yes. You didn't have inspiration. It's not just didn't belong just to you. It came from spirit. So you don't need permission.
Yeah. Yeah, giving yourself permission. You'll know by that feeling. That's a topic I want to kind of touch on real quick with you, because people have a hard time distinguishing what's appropriate, what's not, from their soul's feeling or their gut feeling. You can call it whatever you want. We'll call it gut feeling, for the moment. And their soul's always speaking to them. If this feels right, it feels good. If something doesn't feel good, they need to trust that. But how can they get additional information about what that was? If they don't do it, Because sometimes I know the soul speaks, different emotions and different things, but the feeling of feeling good, you got there, you'll feel right. Yes, do it. Sometimes something is what? Is it just like you can't move and it's real? That when it means it's no to a lot of people, they need the difference. Yeah.
It would be more of a down feeling. But you have to be careful, because most people are still in their logical brain.
Right.
So here's an example of this. Before I had stepped into business coaching, I was like, I probably should do this, because I'm leading all these people to develop and become healers, and they want to maybe monetize it. But then when I first started, I was like, I don't think Spirit wants me to business coach.
Okay.
So I stopped. And then after I developed more, and then I'm like, I can do whatever I want. You're going to support me, right? So that's an example. Another example for you guys to figure out your no.
Yeah.
Is to use your spirit guides even if you don't know who they are, and tell them. If it's a yes, if this is truly a yes, I want to see yellow balloons.
You want to see a sign. You want a sign.
And for the no, if it's a no, or if it's not now or a no, I want to see a pink elephant.
Okay.
And then set your intention and be like, okay, I sent it out. Now I'm going to be waiting. And for the next day or two, be present. Now, these yellow balloons might not be real balloons. You might see a commercial on TV with a yellow balloon. You might see somebody comes up and asks you your name, and they got a big yellow balloon on their shirt.
Yep. Look for the signs. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing with the no. You might see pink. You might see a pink elephant toy on the ground. And then trust it, and then take action or not.
I think that's good, because people get confused. They're trying to learn their discernment of what feels right, what does not, and I think that's really good tools. We're just so blessed to have you on our show. Again, how can people get a hold of you?
Again, Brandaleen Johnson on Facebook. I am Brandaleen on Instagram. Brandaleen Johnson on YouTube, and Brandaleen.com.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brandaleen. We're so happy to have you, and we'll definitely have you back. And you're just
so
such a
grateful.
joy to have on our show. And again, you can also get her information on www.sherrylord.com/forward podcast. We got her information there, and you can see upcoming guests coming on, and we're going to have her back. And make sure you check out our Facebook and check out our website. And make sure you connect with her because she's the real deal and she's excellent. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you for joining us and have an amazing day. Thank you again, Brandaleen.
Thank you so much.